This is a PCI Express slot, a slot that can be found on the motherboard of almost every modern computer, in which you can install video cards and various other expansion cards. Now sometimes PCI Express can be a little confusing, since not all slots and connectors are the same. This has everything to do with so-called PCI Express lanes. The PCI Express interface could be seen as a modular connection. PCI Express slots can be wide, like this one, providing extra bandwidth, but they can also be small to save some space. The smallest possible PCI Express connection is the 1x connection. A 1x PCI Express connection consists out of just one PCI Express lane, and one PCI Express lane is capable of transmitting 1 bit of data per cycle. PCI Express 3.0 does about 8 billion of these cycles per second, and this means that the total bandwidth of one PCI Express 3.0 lane is approximately 1 GB per second. Now, a 2-lane or 2x PCI Express 3.0 connection can do 2 GB per second, and the 16x connection used by video cards can achieve 16 GB per second. Fortunately, almost every combination of slot and connector will work just fine. You can plug a 4x card into a 16x slot, although it will only use 4 lanes, and it's even possible, although you have to physically modify your motherboard, to cram a 16x card into a 4x slot. Same here, it will only use 4 lanes. Then there is something else you need to know about PCI Express lanes. The CPU of the computer deals with PCI Express devices, and therefore the CPU determines the maximum amount of PCI Express lanes that is supported. This can be clarified very well using an example. Let's say we've got a computer with a motherboard in it that has two 16x PCI Express slots, and the CPU that is installed in this motherboard supports 16 lanes. Now when we go ahead and stick a 16x video card into one of the slots, it will work just fine and use 16 lanes. However, when we plug a second 16x card into the motherboard, there's a problem, since that CPU doesn't support 32 PCI Express lanes. Because of this, the cards will now both run in 8x mode, so despite the fact that they are 16x cards, plugged into 16x slots, they will only use 8 lanes because of the CPU. So bear in mind that if you're going to use many PCI Express devices, you'll need a CPU that supports enough lanes to run them. So there you go, now you know what PCI Express lanes are. I hope you've enjoyed this video, and thank you for watching.